I'm fucking pissed. First two recordings get like corrupted. Not even corrupted, they just corrupted. They just stopped. Now my microphone wasn't on. Alright then. Again. This is starting to get boring at this point. I've been reading the same exact fucking page over and over again. The abandoned child Naruto fanfiction. Sorry guys, I'm just a lot more pissed than usual. Spawn of Satan. At Jode likes stories. Storite. Can never get his name right. 4 times. 4 times, G. 4 times. Anyways, yeah, go follow him. I do not own this story. I really like page 1 from what I can see, but it keeps stopping. Oh my days. I was so happy about recording this today as well. I don't have any more exams. Minato, this is a horrible plan, Hiruzen Sarutobi said as he was holding Naruto. His eyes were slightly open. He seemed to look at the man who was holding him. He had black hair, unlike his other siblings, Naruto and Menma. Menma had red hair, while Naruto had yellow hair, just like her father. You can't just abandon one child so you can train the rest. I don't care if they have more tales of chakra sealed into them. He started yelling until Naruto started crying. He bounced the child up and down to soothe the baby. There, child. Old man Hiruzen has you. Minato sighed as he saw his oldest son in Sarutobi's arms. I must, Hiruzen. They need to learn how to control the tails of the Kyuubi. I'm sorry. Minato said it was a hard choice to leave his son behind, but in his mind, it was necessary. Come on, Sensei. It will only be a couple of years. All they need to do is master the chakra. Tsunade reasoned. She decided to go with the family along with Jiraiya so she could help train the family. Then we'll come back and Naruto will be happy to meet his family. Too bad you're not God, Tsunade. I am. As in, the writer is pretty much the god of this story. I still and never will agree with what you're doing, Minato. A voice said behind Hiruzen. Minato looked over to see Orochimaru standing there. You're leaving your son for other kids. Pathetic. He snarled. Orochimaru was a little sour because he lost the title of fourth Hokage to Minato, but he got over it quickly. Now listen, Kushina began furiously in a furious voice to be shut off by an equally furious voice. Orochimaru is right, Hiruzen said. You two are leaving your child alone for other kids. It is pathetic. The baby started crying again. As he sensed the negative emotions, Hiruzen bounced him a little bit again. I will take care of little Naruto here as much as I can, and I'm going to give him his own apartment and that he can live in after he turns 8 from the orphanage. Minato began protesting, but then he was cut off by Orochimaru. Hiruzen Sensei is right. He's acting Hokage now, not you, Minato. I only hope Naruto will forgive you in the future, he said before walking away. Come on, everyone, Minato said with a small scowl on his face. We have kids to raise. As do I, Hiruzen said, looking down warmly at the baby who was staring at the family leaving. The baby made a gargling sound, and clapped a little, but the gargling sound sounded a lot like Baka's. Bakas means like idiots, or Baka means idiot, plural and singular, or plural and singular and plural, right? Anyway, 6 years later, Naruto ran into a nearby alley to get away from the drunken Chunin who were chasing him. This would happen at least once a week. The high school was 8. They would hunt him down and beat him up to a bloody pulp and leave him to die. But a person in an armed mask would always take him to the hospital after the beatings. Naruto didn't know why they beat on him, but they have been doing it ever since he was kicked out of the orphanage when he was 4. On his 5th birthday, he was with the 3rd Hokage, helping with stamps and and sorting things. He loved his GG dearly, and he would do anything to save his old bones, as Naruto would say it. He also liked his uncle Orochimaru as well. But his uncle Orochi was gone a lot of the time. But there was something about the beating he was about to receive though. Today was his birthday, October 10th, the day the Nine-Tailed Fox attacked the village and killed many people's families and friends. But they saw Naruto as the QB, and so they were going to take revenge. Naruto hid in an alley, shaking in fear. The Chunin that were chasing him were holding kunais and shuriken. One had a sword, but unlucky for Naruto, one was a sensory type ninja. Hey, guys, he's over here, he yelled, as the small crowd of villagers and ninjas alike come by. Naruto was grabbed by his black hair and threw it against the wall. Please stop, he cried out, only to get punched in the gut. Did you stop when you killed my little brother, huh? A Chunin said, as it punched Naruto again. As he mad how you punching a kid for something he didn't do. Pinned the demon by his hands with a kunai so he can't get away, a villager yelled. Another Chunin smiled wickedly and took one of Naruto's arms, pinned it against the wall, and take this, demon, he yelled as he stabbed the kunai in each hand, pinning Naruto to the wall. Naruto experienced pain, but this was a new type. He screamed in agony. He cried. The villagers seemed taken aback for a second. This wasn't a scream. This wasn't a demon scream. No, this was a little boy's scream. It's the demon trying to trick us, again he shouted. The others were quickly to agree before they started torturing him again. Naruto watched a nearby villager get a knife and stab him in the stomach before twisting it. Naruto screamed again in pain. When the villager went to do it again, Naruto saw everything turn into a black-grey color. As he saw everything in slow motion, he watched as the villager wide-eyed before being engulfed in huge flames. Faster, Fabu Jutsu. A young voice called out. The villagers Chunin and Genin alike were all quickly disposed of by the jutsu. Naruto closed his eyes as he felt the kunai being taken out of his hand and as he fell to the ground. Alright, it's recording. Oh god, Naruto, I'm so sorry I couldn't get here fast enough. I was just appointed to an Anbu and the stuff I didn't. He stopped as he watched Naruto open his eyes. His breath hitched. Sharingan? He whispered. Naruto looked at the boy who saved him and only to see a weasel mask. Naruto saw the boy had red eyes with Tomoe. You have cool eyes, he said before passing out. Itachi Uchiha chuckled at the boy. So do you. Sorry. I'm actually really interested by this story. He said as he body flickered to the hospital and to the Hokage's office. Naruto was attacked today, pretty brutally too. But that's not why it's important. Itachi said as the third Hokage raised an eyebrow. What happened to the attackers? The third asked. He saw Naruto and as a grandson, and he wanted to make sure he got justice. I burned them alive with a fire jutsu. The third nodded. Now, what possibly is more important than him almost dying, Weasel? Weasel, also known as Itachi, took a deep breath. He has the Sharingan, Hokage-sama. Hiruzen gasped. Are you sure? He asked skeptically. Itachi nodded. I'm sure, sir. Wait, 1 second. So I just wanted to check what ship this was, and apparently it's a female Sasuke ship because I read the same exact story before, but it was a bit less. There was less, there was less information or less description, and literally it was exactly the same thing that happened there. Like even the cool eyes bit, it's called Naruto Prodigy and Neglected. But the thing is, this one has less parts and the ship is different. I'm kind of confused and I was like, wait, is this the same exact story I was reading before? So I didn't really know, innit? So man just had to check. So from what I can see, it's not right. No, it's not. Anyway, can I see? This is what I don't like about the shitty app. Alright. Sorry, but on my phone I just can't get out of the app. And anyways, I burned them alive with the fire jutsu. The third nodded. Now, what is possibly more important than him almost dying, Weasel? Weasel, also known as Itachi, took a breath. He has the Sharingan, Hokage. Hiruzen gasped. Are you sure? As he asked, skeptically. Itachi nodded. I'm sure, sir. I saw them with my own eyes, and my Sharingan was up as well. So it wasn't Genjutsu. It wasn't a Genjutsu. But how does he have it? Hiruzen took off his Hokage hat. I don't know. It could be that Minato's parents were Uchiha, but he has bright yellow hair, unlike most. Naruto-kun has black hair. It could be possible. He mumbled to himself before speaking up. I'm not certain, but Kushina or Minato could have had an ancestor that was an Uchiha, and it is dormant because maybe after a certain age they can't unlock it anymore. But a young age like Naruto, they could potentially unlock it, but I'm not sure. Itachi nodded in understanding. Sir, may I make a request? Hiruzen rose an eyebrow, but nodded. I would like for Naruto to live with my family. I saw the villagers did not want him. What the villagers did to him. It was brutal. He would be dead if he didn't have one tail in him. Plus, I can train him with in the Sharingan. Oh, so he has one tail. So one tail of the nine tails. So the nine tails with one tail. That's kind of mad. But at the same time, I don't know how to feel about that. By the way, if you can hear this, it's actually me having a grape. But one tail Kurama. Really? Is he stronger than the one tails then? Technically, because Kurama just like he could take on all the 8 other tail beasts on his own. Fuck this shit, bro. This is hurting my brain. Hiruzen rubbed his head as he thought of the pros and cons of this. The pros were numerous, and the cons, well, he wasn't sure if there were any. Hiruzen sighed. Granted, you can tell Naruto-kun when he wakes up. Be sure to tell your parents about this. I don't want your father throwing a fit. Itachi nodded before body flickering home to tell his parents of the news. 1 hour later with Itachi. So what do you think? Itachi said as he explained the situation to Mikoto Uchiha immediately responded. Of course, I've been meaning to ask your father about that, but it keeps slipping my mind. What do you think Fugaku was on Minato's Genin team when he was younger, and the chance to adopt his friend's son, when he was in need was preposterous. I agree, even though it shouldn't have happened. Well, this shouldn't happen. Minato should have took Naruto with him, Fugaku said, showing more emotion than he has in a while. Besides, the Sharingan, that means we Uchiha should welcome another Uchiha with open arms. Itachi smiled at his father. If I didn't know better, I would say you're going soft. Mikoto said as she kissed his cheek. Itachi turned to his little sister. What do you think? What about you, Satsuki? Do you want Naruto to move in with us? Satsuki yawned. They woke her up for this. She nodded her head slightly and fell asleep. Itachi smiled at his little sister and went to bed for the night. Anyway, next day, Naruto slowly opened his eyes and looked around the room, seeing a girl his age, a boy that felt familiar. The girl was playing with the little pieces of clay, while the boy was just watching the girl with a small smile. Naruto turned his head the other way and found 2 more people sitting down, talking. They both had black hair, but one was a man and the other one was a woman. The woman looked like an older version of the little girl. Looks like you're up. You are up, but anyways, I don't really mind the spelling mistakes. I can correct them. A voice said in his ear. Naruto jumped a little and he and turned his head to meet the little girl right in his face. He went red with embarrassment, as the girl did when she realized how close she was to the strange boy that was coming home with them. Satsuki, you're too young to be dating boys. Mikoto teased as Satsuki immediately jumped away from Naruto and and hid her blush by standing behind Itachi. "Who are you, Naruto?" he asked as he put put the blanket over his head. Mikoto slowly took the blanket off his head with a warm smile. You know, this is way better than the other one that I read. No offense, but I think that one was copied from this. When you knew family, that wasn't even finished. Like, I think it was only 14 chapters. This is like double that, maybe more. 37, I believe. "Were you new family?" she said in a soft voice. Naruto looked at her weirdly. "Family?" Gigi said, "My last family left me here. You're just going to leave me too." Itachi smiled sadly at the black spiked boy. "That's peak, fam. Dickhead, fam. I used to like Minato. I can't let this like change my mindset over the characters. Like, I need to make sure I don't like start hating characters that I loved." "No, we're not. We," by the way, that should have an apostrophe. But anyway, we're not. "No, we're not. Family sticks together, and we're family now." "Huh, Mom? What is his name again?" Mikoto covered up her mouth to keep herself from laughing. "His name is Naruto Uchiha." Naruto rose an eyebrow. "I'm not an Uchiha. I'm just Naruto." Itachi poked at Naruto's forehead. "Hey," he yelled slightly as he rubbed his forehead. Satsuki mumbled, "I know, right?" Itachi then poked her forehead. "I'm Itachi. You can call me Itachi." Like, older brother Itachi. That's my mom, and that's your new mom. "And over there," he said, pointing at Fugaku, "is my dad, your new dad. And it right here, I'm not an it, I'm a she," Satsuki muttered. Itachi laughed a little. "This is Satsuki. You can call her whatever you want." Naruto nodded slowly. "Okay, let's go to the orphanage and get your stuff. Then you can move in with us," Satsuki said with a smile. She then reached for the boy and tried to touch his whiskers. He flinched away, thinking she was going to hurt him. "I'm not going to hurt you. I just want to see your whiskers." Naruto hesitantly nodded as he felt her touch his whiskers. He did something she did. Wait, what? Then he did something no one would thought he could. He purred. What? Ah, shit. There's a smudge on my screen. Can't read like that. Anyway. "Cute," Mikoto and Satsuki yelled at the same time. Satsuki immediately jumped on the bed and rubbed his cheeks again. He's like his own type of dog. Her own. Oh, wait, what? Some type of dog. Allow it, please. Man can't read, innit? My reading's actually got better because of just reading these. Mikoto did the same, much to the amusement of Itachi and Fugaku. Naruto blushed a dark red as he felt the girls mess with his whiskers. After they were done, Mikoto spoke up. "Come on, let's get your stuff." Naruto looked down at the blankets of the bed and muttered something no one picked up. "What was that?" I don't have anything there. I was kicked out when I was 4. Fugaku's eyes widened a bit. Mikoto gasped. Itachi frowned, and Satsuki asked the question everyone wanted to know. "Where did you live then?" Naruto looked at Satsuki in the eyes. The streets and the big forest. The bad people would beat me up if a lot, and some brought weapons. Last night they actually tried to kill me." He pointed to Itachi. "Then he saved me with the fireball thingy. I'm guessing he brought me here." Itachi's eyes widened slightly. "How did you know it was me?" he questioned. Naruto smiled slightly. I felt you last night." Whoa. I don't really know how to explain it, but it felt warm, and he seemed calm, like you right now. Plus, your hair is in a ponytail, which is right now. It is right now. Itachi smiled. "Good observations, considering what happened. You blew my cover though. Let's keep this a secret though." just between us and the Hokage. Naruto nodded. Okay, let's go home. They waited for Naruto to get out of bed and sat, but he just sat there. What's wrong? Itachi began by, but he was cut off by a strong hug from Naruto. Everyone smiled except for Fugaku, who just smirked at the scene in front of him. Itachi patted Naruto's back. Thank you, Itachi. Oni-chan? No. Yeah, I deserve that. I really deserve that. Anyway. See, man don't like that lolly thing, yeah? He said, in between sobs, thank you for giving me a family. Time skip, 1 month. This is gonna be the longest chapter because I need to get the part where Naruto's biological family comes back. Ah, Ross. Claw. That is class. This shit is class, fam. Fam, why couldn't this be Naruto? Nah, actually, calm down. Nah. Naruto is good. But this is a whole different type of good. In a different sense, of course. Because, like, nothing can beat Naruto. Like, you can't compare any anime to Naruto. Naruto's just that broken, innit? Let me have another grape. Listen, I like grapes. Dad, Mom, we're home. Sasuke and Naruto yelled at the same time. They walked through the door. The day marked Naruto's first month of being part of the family. He immediately liked the family, but he was super shy in the beginning, so he just stayed quiet. After the second week, he opened up. The third week, he and Sasuke joined the academy. Today was the day Fugaku said he was going to show them the family jutsu, so they may have the family crest on the back of their shirts. Finished the grape, innit? Shouldn't talk about eating, innit? Welcome home, Satsuki-chan. Naruto-kun, how was your day? Naruto shivered. Boring. Iruko-sensei just droned on about history. I mean, if I'm facing a ninja in battle, do you think me saying Hashirama Senju was the first Hokage, is he going to save me? Mikoto smiled at her adoptive son's brightness. He was smart and usually thought logically when he counted. Sorry, not continue. Mom, where's Dad? No, he's supposed to show us the fireball jutsu. Satsuki whined. Fugaku. Mikoto yelled as into the hallway. Naruto and Satsuki want to learn the jutsu you promised to teach them. Be there in a minute. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that, bro. See, man's not good with them kind of words, yeah. Don't at me, yeah. Man's just not good with them, innit? They don't sound good when I say them, innit? Anyway, anyone else, like, apart from me, anyone else could say it, but yeah, when I say it, nah, G. Fugaku yelled back, putting on his sandals. He would never admit it, but Naruto makes the Uchiha compound more happy, even if it was just a little bit. His laughter and was infectious, and his love spread like wildfire. Some Uchiha opposed to him being at the compound, but they were immediately silenced by Fugaku, who got tired of it. Fugaku walked outside to see Satsuki sitting down, waiting for her father, while Naruto was jumping up and down in excitement. Come on, kids, follow me. 5 minutes later at the lake, on a dock. Grape time. No, every time skip is one grape. Ah, shit, there's no time skips. Yes! I just have to read like for hours. 5 minutes later at the lake dock, on the dock. Dad, can I use my Sharingan to copy it, please? Naruto asked when the family found out that Naruto could actually use the Sharingan, had the Sharingan. They all had different reactions. Satsuki was jealous, but she got over it quickly. Fugaku was slightly disappointed in the village for causing Naruto to awaken it. Mikoto was overjoyed, and said he's on the path of greatness since he had 2 Tomoes already. Sorry Naruto, but no. To become a real Uchiha, you must do it without the help of the Sharingan. But after that, you can copy enemy battle abilities and ninjutsu, but only copy an ally if they give you permission, okay? Okay, Dad. Let's do it, Naruto said. Satsuki smiled at the spiky black-haired boy. She liked him around the house. and they would always hang out. One was not usually seen without out the other. Alright, calm. Okay, here here are the hand signs. Fugaku slowly showed them the hand signs. Slowly showed them the hand signs as they both nodded for him to continue. Then you build up the chakra in your lungs until you feel slight burning sensation, and you blow as hard as you can. Fire style, fireball jutsu. Bro, I just imagine the man, Mazzolini. He yelled as he blew out. He blew out a large ball of fire, that they had to squint to see. So now, Satsuki, you try. You already know the hand signs, so it's all up to you now. Fire star, fireball jutsu. She yelled as she blew a tiny ball of flames. That didn't go far. Fugaku sighed. Go too far. Yeah, you tried your best. Wait, why am I saying it like it's some kind of bad thing that she flopped in it? You tried your best. Now you just have to practice. Now your turn, Naruto. Naruto nodded. He quickly made the hand signs and put the fingers near his mouth for the before building up the necessary chakra. Fire star, fireball jutsu. He yelled as a huge ball of flames came out of his mouth. The jutsu was larger than Fugaku's example jutsu. It wasn't as big as Fugaku could have done it, but still very impressive. It was even bigger than Itachi's first try. That's my boy, Fugaku said, laughing. Yours was way bigger than Itachi's. Maybe you're the next Uchiha Prodigy? Naruto beamed at the adopted father's praise. Satsuki blew a strain of hair out on her face in annoyance. I'll see you kids later. Practice, Satsuki. Maybe you'll get as big as Naruto's. After Fugaku left, Naruto turned to Satsuki and jumped up and down. Did you see that, Satsuki? I did it, Naruto said with excitement, before he saw Satsuki's sad face. What's wrong, Satsuki? How come you got on the first try but I didn't? She sniffed. Naruto hugged her quickly, causing her to blush from his embrace. It's okay, I'll help you get it down. Maybe you didn't put enough chakra into it. Satsuki nodded her head, maybe. The rest of the day, Naruto helped Satsuki develop her chakra to the right amount, and she finally got it to a size where it was a little bit over the father did. They both had burn marks. They both had burn marks and scratches due to the fireball that backfired. I think they mean the fire that goes behind in it. I don't know. They laughed about that for a while. They walked home supporting each other whilst limping slightly. Naruto was tired because he had to do a lot more fireballs than Satsuki to improve the width and length of the fireball, so she could perfect it. She could perfect it. Oh my days, fam! She could perfect it. So she was exhausted. So he was exhausted. Wait, so he could perfect it, and so he was exhausted. Satsuki was tired because she kept doing the jutsu over and over again to get it done with. Bro, my reading's ass now. I'm exhausted, Satsuki said. It was a little dark, and as they had headed to the compound, I think it'd be easier if Dad said I could use my Sharingan. Naruto whispered into her ear so only she could hear. Fugaku and Mikoto wanted Naruto to keep his Sharingan a secret for now, but Itachi would give him a lesson every once in a while. When Naruto got home, they shouted in unison. Mikoto came by and hugged them before bonking them on the head. You stayed out too late, and you also burnt yourselves. She said with a hint of anger in her voice. Naruto and Satsuki looked at the ground in shame before Mikoto smiled brightly at them. I also heard that you kids performed the fireball jutsu pretty well too, especially Naruto. Naruto beamed in praise as Satsuki smiled at him. Satsuki, did the fireball did the fireball good too, mom. Not as good as me, but she made it bigger than dad's. I have a question. How how do you how did you know we did the jutsu correctly? Mikoto laughed. Naruto's uncle said he was watching the two from afar. He was quite impressed. Naruto gasped. Uncle Orochimaru came here? Where is he? Naruto said in excitement. Mikoto smiled at the boy. He left a while ago, but he wanted to give you this. A list of ninjutsu, a list of jutsu you can practice on your in your free time, but also contains 3 taijutsu styles. I haven't looked at the scroll yet, but he said there were a few pieces of charcoal paper in there. So she handed Naruto the scroll. He looked at it questionably. Mom, how do I open it? Mikoto chuckled, while Satsuki face palmed. It's a storage scroll. Idiot, Satsuki said. Satsuki, be nice. Mikoto scolded. But she is right. To open it, you channel some chakra into the scroll. Naruto nodded as he channeled chakra into the scroll and he opened. Wow. He opened, revealing 3 pieces of chakra paper with 5 scrolls in each one, each a different color and symbol. One being blue, he said water jutsu. Another was red, fire jutsu. Another was brown, said earth jutsu. Oh shit. Another was white, said wind jutsu, and the final one was yellow, said lightning jutsu. Okay, Naruto. I want you to take this piece of paper here and channel some chakra into it. If it burns, it's fire. If it gets soggy, it's wet, and wet, it's water. If it splits in half, it's wind. If it crinkles, it's lightning. And finally, if it crumbles, it's earth. Now, give it a try, she explained. Naruto nodded and picked up the piece of paper. He channeled some chakra into it, and watched in fascination as it split into 3 pieces, with one crinkling, one burning, and the other one soaking. Mikoto and Itachi, who slipped into the room as Naruto picked up the paper, Jules dropped. Is that good, Mom? Mikoto could only nod her head, not trusting her voice. Itachi was the one who spoke up. You have 4 elemental affinities. Now, a normal person only has 1 or 2. Is rare. 3 is unheard of. And here you are with 4, Naruto. You're something else, Itachi said with a slight laugh. Naruto smiled. He may have loved his father's and mother's praise, but the real praise he really wanted was Itachi's. He admired Itachi. Being able to get into the Anbu at the age of 12, being a captain at 13, it was incredible. Thanks, Itachi. Now, I'm on my way to be as strong as you. Itachi smiled and mentioned Naruto to come with him. Naruto sat up and walked to Itachi and to be poked on his with 2 fingers. I'm not gonna say girl. Anyway, I just said it. Anyways, he growled. Naruto growled in annoyance. He rubbed his head where Itachi poked. Mikoto smiled at the 2 brothers. She remembered her conversation with Itachi earlier that day. Flashback. What do you honestly think of Naruto, Itachi? Mikoto asked as she sat at the table drinking a cup of tea. Itachi made. Itachi closed his eyes. He put down his cup. I love Naruto. As much as I love Satsuki. He may not be completely blood related, but that doesn't change anything. It would do anything for them, I would do anything for them, including giving my life up, if it helps them live. Even if I became an obstacle that he hates, he will always be my little brother. Itachi replied, without so much as thinking. Mikoto didn't know that Itachi felt that way about that. Mikoto didn't know Itachi felt that way about her adopted son. Oh, he repeated it. That happens to me in English. She was shocked. I'm proud of you, Itachi. Oh, it's still recording. Let's go. I'm proud of you, Itachi. You welcomed him into our lives, and then you love him like he was always your brother. She was cut off. He is my brother, Mom. Even if he came out of your womb, nothing. Even if he didn't come out of your womb, nothing would change about how much I care for him. Flashback end. Time for bedtime. For bed, everyone. Time for bedtime. Well, time for bed, everyone. Let's go. You have school tomorrow. Mikoto shooed the kids away. Only Itachi remained. You weren't joking earlier, were you? Itachi gave her a weird look. Do you think I was? Did you think I was? She looked. She shook her head in a negative fashion. Good night, Mom. Naruto yelled from his room. Yeah, night. Satsuki called from her room. Mikoto stood up. Looks like I haven't to sew some Uchiha symbols on their clothing, huh? Itachi smiled at his mother. Indeed, mother. 1 year later, another grape. Let's go. So basically, how are you guys enjoying it, innit? Tell me in the comments. I mean, it's not even mine. I'm making a shit here, to be honest. Because of my shit reading, innit? But still, I remember some guy saying, oh, this dude has the perfect voice for this kind of stuff. And this other guy commented on his comment, no cap. I was like, holy fuck. Naruto, Iruka yelled. Naruto jolted up from his seat, wide awake. He was having a nice dream about him and Itachi training, and him beating Itachi in a spar. Since you listen so well, you can answer the question. Who is the one who fought the first Hokage in the Valley of the End? Why? Naruto asked. He was getting tired of Iruka's lectures. They got on his nerves and made him tired. Sure, he was the top student in his class so far, but he didn't want to listen. Why, Naruto? And Iruka asked in confusion. Why do we learn who did that? I mean, when is it going to help us in the ninja life? Am I going to start giving a history lesson to my enemy? Will talking get myself out of a situation when I'm facing a crazy missing ninja with a bloodlust problem? The class laughed at Naruto, but were immediately silenced when Satsuki spoke up. He has a point. He's also the smartest in the class. Think of his logic, Iruka-sensei. Everyone laughed again at the two Uchihas. Both of you, get out of my class, now. Naruto and Satsuki sighed in unison and stood up and walked out of the classroom. Do you want to go train? Naruto asked Satsuki. Satsuki nodded before they started walking to the hall. You always win, though. Naruto chuckled. Ever since Orochimaru offered Naruto training, Naruto has been excelling in taijutsu, tai and ninjutsu. Flashback, 6 months. Naruto was practicing some of the fire techniques his uncle gave him a few months ago. He was struggling with this one a little bit, but he couldn't get it. It was fire release. Great dragon fire technique. It was a B rank, offensive jutsu, and he almost had it, but he just couldn't get the last part. You're not forming the chakra through your whole body. A voice rang out to Naruto. Naruto turned around. His voice the voice he knew so well to see. At the voice he knew so well to see Uncle Orochimaru. Uncle Orochi, he yelled as he jumped and hugged his uncle. Hello, Naruto. Doing well, I hope. Naruto nodded. Well, I heard that you're doing well in the academy. Top person in the class is impressive, especially if all the future clan heads are in your class. Yeah, it's okay, but history is useless. Orochimaru gave Naruto a weird look. How so? Naruto then explained how's useless and Orochimaru explained how it's useless, and Orochimaru nodded at his logic. Okay, now back to the problem. I want you to I want you to form the chakra throughout your whole body and try the technique again. Naruto nodded and went through the hand signs and shouted fire style, great dragon fire technique. A head of a dragon made made of flames spewed out of Naruto's mouth and engulfed a nearby tree, setting on fire. Orochimaru was about to put it out when Naruto stopped him. I got this, water style. Water style, giant vortex jutsu. Naruto yelled as the water seemingly came out of nowhere and crashed into the fire as it swirled around Naruto. Naruto deactivated the jutsu and looked at his uncle, only to see Orochimaru's face with complete shock. Uncle Orochi? Naruto said slightly, scared at his uncle's face. Orochimaru shook his head from his shock and smiled warmly at Naruto. You've done something only the second Hokage could. I'm proud of you, Naruto. Naruto smiled and hugged his uncle again. How would you like me to teach those taijutsu techniques I gave you a while ago? Maybe I'll start teaching you hand to hand on instead of sending you scrolls. Naruto nodded eagerly. Orochimaru laughed and ruffled his hair. Okay, let's get started. Flashback end. Now, every other week after school, he would go to train with Orochimaru. And the week he would probably practice training with Satsuki and Itachi. They would throw kunai and the shuriken, and then he would train his Sharingan and speed. Were you two sent out again? Mizuki said as he came back from back with a cup of coffee. Good, Mizuki. Alright, so Mizuki's good, isn't it? Maiji? Yeah, Mizuki Sensei. Iruka Sensei didn't like when we Mizuki Sensei. Iruka Sensei didn't like it when me and Satsuki said how useless his lectures are. Satsuki giggled a little, and Satsuki and Naruto. Satsuki corrected, and Naruto blushed and in embarrassment as Mizuki just laughed. You two kids can go train, okay? Not learning anything important today, Mizuki said before walking into the classroom. Come on, Naruto shouted before running to the nearest training ground, which was training ground 7. When they got there, they immediately got into a taijutsu stance. Satsuki in the Itachi taijutsu, in the Uchiha's taijutsu, and Naruto in a mix of all the taijutsu he learned. He decided to mix the moves of the styles, and he made a whole new taijutsu style with the help of his uncle. He had yet to think of a name for the style, but he swore he would do it sooner or later. Rules? Naruto asked. Satsuki smirked. Anything goes. Naruto looked at her weirdly. Are you sure? He asked in a worried tone. Satsuki smiled. Are you scared, Naruto? Naruto shook his head. No, I'm not. I'm worried about you, Satsuki. I don't want to hurt you and get you hurt. Satsuki shook her head. Don't hold back, she yelled. Before charging at him, Naruto easily sidestepped her and tripped her. She rolled into the fall and stood back up before making a couple of hand signs. Foul style, fireball jutsu, she yelled as Naruto went through his own hand signs. Water style, water bullet jutsu, water bullet. Oh, water bullet, just water bullet. Alright then. He spewed out a large ball of water and extinguished the flames. And then he was about to make another before he had to dodge another punch from Satsuki. He stumbled backwards before kicking her in the chest and backflipping off it. Satsuki growled before she ran and was promptly tripped again before being pinned by Naruto and his fist raised. Sorry. Do you yield? She sighed and nodded a yes to Naruto as he helped her up. You still totally outclassed me. I need to get stronger, Satsuki mumbled. Naruto just laughed and was about to say something when he heard clapping and he turned around to see 5 ninjas, headbands on. Naruto knew of the relationship between Konoha and Iwa since the third Great Ninja War, Iwagakure, I think. That was impressive. That was an impressive spar for onesie so young. One of them said. Naruto growled, "Oh, we have a fighter here." Another one said. Naruto then found himself on the ground when the leader of the group punched him. Naruto held his cheek as he burned from the punch. Satsuki was trying to fight the man, but was easily grabbed by the hair, yanked back. "Oh, you look like you'd become good looking in the future." But that wasn't the matter. My man liked them young. He threw Satsuki back. The fool man grabbed her hair and licked her lips. "Oh shit. Ah fuck. You're going to be our slave and our bitch. Oh no. Oh shit. Oh fuck." One said aloud. Naruto's eyes widened as he heard this. He knew what what the thing was in it, and the bad thing was. Yeah, so I'm not gonna say that because I don't want to get demonetized in that, and also I don't want to get cancelled in it. So because nowadays, if you say one bad thing, you get cancelled real fast. Was because he read a lot of books talking about the danger of shinobi and kunoichi. These guys were going to the bad ting, by the way. Satsuki. "No," he growled out. "No." His voice changed from regular to demonic. The Iwa ninja looked scared for a second, before laughing. "You guys go ahead. I'll take the kid on." The four men were about to leave before they heard a growl. Naruto was being surrounded by red chakra, with one toe coming out behind him. His eyes were slit, and the three times and had 3 times in his eyes. He means Tomoe, right? Naruto had matured his Sharingan. Smuttered? What the fuck? Naruto had matured his Sharingan. Naruto felt a deep feeling in his stomach that told him to slam his hands on the ground. "I won't let you take her." Naruto screamed as a burst of chakra came from the dirt around him. "No way." Wait, what? Around him, now wait. Sorry. He slammed his hands down on the ground as large spikes of wood impaled the 3 men holding Satsuki, the 4 men, not 3, in their stomachs. What's that? Mokuton. Man, don't know what that is, so let me search up. Oh shit, my grip. Wood release. Wood release. The 4th one said before he was impaled by another branch in the heart. The 4 men that were holding Satsuki were now dead. Naruto stared at the man in front of him down. "I'm going to destroy you," he screamed, and as he screamed, he rushed the man and punching his ribs, breaking a few before kicking him in the face, sending him into the trees. Naruto then made a hand sign, and the trees around the man wrapped around him and slowly crushed him. The man screamed out in pain as he felt his whole body being crushed. Satsuki could only watch the man die right in front of her. She watched as the red cloak around Naruto faded, as did the slit. She gasped when she saw the 3 Tomoe Sharingan in his eyes. Naruto deactivating his Sharingan as the 3rd Hokage, Orochimaru, Itachi, and a group of Anbu arrived, I think. Naruto was about to collapse when Satsuki caught him in her arms and held his head close to her as she stroked his hair. "Hokage-sama, this wood, it's pushing out chakra," he surveyed, and the landscape and Grimaced. How do I pronounce that word, fam? Man's gonna... Grimace. I can't say left. So, you know, Grimace, innit? The bodies, okay. Naruto's, heroes and surveyed the landscape and grimaced when he grimaced when he was the bodies of the four, when he saw, I think. Verb, grimaced, make a grimace. What does it mean, fam? It's a verb. Past, participle. Bro, man don't know shit. No way. An Ambu with the lion's mask said, wouldst thou? Had not been seen since the first Hokage died. Orochimaru whistled. Naruto, you are certainly made for great things, he said, smiling at the two Uchihas as Satsuki was stroking Naruto's hair. By the way, I don't think Yamato will have wood release because remember Orochimaru didn't do them Mazzolinis that he did back then, innit? A day before graduation, Naruto and Satsuki were excited. Naruto because no more book work, and Satsuki because she gets her own action. Naruto was smiling like a goof as he walked towards the Hokage Tower. I'm so close to graduating. I can taste it. Nothing can ruin my day, not even the villagers. Naruto thought, oh fuck. Ah shit. He dodged people who tried to intentionally bump into him skillfully. He had learned a lot with his Sharingan. He had the 100% control over it, and he was proud of himself. After that day, with the Iwa ninjas, the third sent him scrolls on wood release every other week while Orochimaru watched him. He also made two new friends. The names were Anko Mitarashi and Kakashi Hatake. He has learned many new jutsus, and he was very proficient in battle tactics and genjutsu. His Sharingan helped him a lot. He grew a lot closer to Satsuki since that day as well. He wasn't sure what it was, but whenever he was near her, he would blush, and something in the stomach would twist around and turn. Alright, so it's love, innit? Naruto burst into the Hokage office. A group of people were in front of the desk. He didn't care. I'm here, Gigi, he yelled as he laughed. Hiruzen smiled warmly at the boy. Hello, Naruto. I want you to meet some people. He gestured at the people in front of his desk. Naruto looked at the people and studied them. There were two kids around his age. An old man with white hair coming down his back. A tall man with blue eyes and blonde hair. A woman with long red hair, and a woman with blonde hair and two pigtails flowing down from the back and of her neck. Naruto studied the tall man with blonde hair before scowling. Gigi, why are they here? He spat out with venom. The blonde man's smile turned upside down to a frown. Along with everyone else in the group, the blonde took a step forward. Her name is Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage, and your father. He finished. Naruto's scowl deepened more. You're not my father. My father is at home, waiting for me to come home, he said as his voice immediately went low. I made it higher. Minato gave him a confused look. What do you mean? We are... He motioned to the rest of the people. We are your family. Naruto shook his head in disgust. No, you aren't. My family's at home. Now, with your family. Minato's eyes widened when he finally noticed the Uchiha clan crest on Naruto's back. An Uchiha crest? He asked. The boy who had red hair like his mother stepped forward. He probably stole it, father. Let me take it off, he said, reaching for the crest. before he found the kunai at his throat. "You will not touch me," Naruto growled as his chakra flared and ki flooded the room, making the boy sweat before raising his hands in the air. Okay, I'm sorry." The boy stepped back slowly. Minato and Kushina gawked at the child they had abandoned. The speed he had was just mind-blowing. Kushina then realized what just happened. "You cannot just draw a kunai on your own brother," Kushina yelled slightly. Naruto glared at her. "Both of my brothers are in missions right now, and only one could totally whoop my ass in a fight." Tsunade had enough. "Listen here, brat. We don't have any time for your petty grudge against your real family," she growled as she stomped. She said, staring into his eyes. What she didn't know was that she was staring into his Sharingan. Tsunade kept matching the boy before she bumped into invisible force. She didn't realize she was in a genjutsu. She quickly dispelled it, only to find him standing there with a smirk, and her facing the opposite side of the room. Her eyes widened, along with everyone else in the room except Naruto and Hiruzen gaped at the Sharingan. "Let's go, my fucking G! Slap them!" Oh fuck. I'm so weird. Yes, that's me. That's the real me. This is what I do in my free time. I shout, scream with my friends. Nah, but no, I'm a well-mannered kid. I'm joking, but all you have to know is that I'm not in a gang or I don't do drugs. I have a completed life. I did kind of steal a cigarette when I was a 6-year-old, thinking it was a candy though, and I did try to have it, and my whole throat started burning, and ever since I have PTSDs from it. Anyway, how did you get the Sharingan? Minato asked. Naruto shook his head. "I do not need to give you that information, Namikaze." Minato frowned. "Naruto, call me his father." Naruto shook his head. You're not my father," Naruto said with a snarl. "You stopped being my father the day you abandoned me, just because I didn't have enough tails of chakra like they did," he yelled, pointing at his biological siblings. "You left me to the mercy of the villagers. They would beat me every week when I was kicked out of the orphanage. I hate you," Naruto said before, her body flickering to the Uchiha compound. "What have you done to our baby boy?" Kushina asked as she started crying. "Beating by the villagers?" Pfft, he was exaggerating. The villagers are the nicest people in the world, Minato thought. "It's all true, Minato. On his 6th birthday, he was almost killed, but was saved by Itachi Uchiha. Then Fugaku and Mikoto adopted Naruto, but during the torture on that day, he also unlocked his Sharingan. He's a prodigy. He was trained with the Sharingan by Itachi and Fugaku, and trained in all the other areas by Orochimaru, whom he calls Uncle Orochi. After the torture, his life was okay until 5 Iwanin attacked him and Satsuki Uchiha." Minato froze along with the other adults. "Well, Naruto grew angry and unlocked another Kekkei. He unlocked Wood Style." Tsunade slammed her hand on the table. "Impossible, Sensei. Stop telling us stories," she yelled. Hiruzen laughed at the woman. "I'm not telling you stories. I'm telling you facts." Hey, yo! Yo, I could just imagine that. He's just smoking. He's like, "What you mean stories, G? Yo, shit! Man knows everything." "I'm not telling you stories. I'm telling you facts." He tapped into the Kyuubi's chakra and killed 5 Iwa troops when he was 7 with Wood Style. Each of them were brutally killed. I've been giving him techniques on Wood Style since then, and he's mastered all of them so far. Right now, he can perform he can perform perfect B rank wood style jutsus. Overall, Naruto would be a mid to high tier jonin if he had a year or two of experience, but sadly he does not. Without experience, he's around mid tuning to very low jonin. Here isn't finished. Minato ran a hand through his hair in frustration. Why wasn't I told that in our letters? He asked in an annoyed tone. Hiruzen glared at Minato. Do you really want to know, Minato? Of course we do, the group shouted. We never asked. You never asked. Since you never asked, I didn't think it'd be important to you. You always boasted about your other kids, and on how they are mastering the Kyuubi's chakra. But tell me, without the Kyuubi's chakra, what level would they be? You raised them to rely on it when you shouldn't. Naruto was raised right and relies on his own power. The two youngins scowled at the man. What would you know? They yelled in unison. I know a lot. I can sense your chakra pools. They wouldn't be large enough if it was for the Kyuubi. They wouldn't be large. They wouldn't be that large if it wasn't for the Kyuubi. Now silence, children. Hiruzen eyed Jiraiya and Tsunade. Naruto has stated that you two aren't his godparents anymore. Naruto's new godparents are Orochimaru and Mei Terumi. Oh, Mei Terumi? Mei Terumi. Man, wait, is that Mei? Like, Mei Terumi. Man, don't remember surnames? Is that Mei? Like, wow! That's a godmother! Ayo! Mazzolini! She's a pain! Ah! I know who Mei is, by the way. She's the Mizukage, innit? What you saying? Mei Terumi. She's great friends with the Uchiha, and his mother decided to make it happen. She is not his mom. Kushina screamed and stormed off. If you try to change anything, you can't. I have issued custody of Naruto Uchiha over to Mikoto and Fugaku Uchiha due to Naruto's request, and the whole Uchiha compounds. They love Naruto dearly. He brightens up the place. How could you do this, Hiruzen? I thought you were on my side, Minato shouted. Hiruzen raised an eyebrow. I stopped being on your side when I saw Naruto have a hole in his arms with multiple holes in his stomach. Your decision was foolish and idiotic. All of you leave. Minato, you can get back in this chair after Naruto graduates, understood? Minato sadly nodded. They seem to regret it. I wonder if Naruto will ever forgive them. Hiruzen thought as he took another puff from his pipe. My G, Batman Hiruzen, what you saying? And the first chapter is done, innit? That is the longest chapter I am ever doing or ever done, innit? It took me a day to write because I was preoccupied with a lot and had to Google a lot of shit. My G, same as me, G. It took me like, what? It's 6 PM now, and I started around like 5, innit? It took me an hour. Hope you guys like it. My G, I loved it. Shout out to you, bro. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm unknown on this Wattpad thing, yeah, the Wattpad community, but I'll try my best to get known and make you even more known. Fam, this is sick. Guys, you have to read this. Like, it's a Mazzolini. It's an absolute Mazzolini. Look how long this shit is. Ah, yes. And you'll suck all your mums and peace. My ducklings dismissed. Part 2, chapter 2, sorry. Graduation. And they say that they are my family and and all that other crap. Naruto said in an angry tone as he was lying down on Satsuki's lap in the shade of a tree nearby their house. Satsuki stroked his jet black hair as she listened. This became a hobby of hers after the incident with the Iwa Shinobi. They would often get in this position and talk about their day, stuff they just and stuff, or they would just sit there and enjoy each other's company. Are you going to forgive them? She asks softly as she moved his hair out of his face. Naruto just frowned. No, not yet. They abandoned me. Not yet, at least. They abandoned me. He said as he switched to a more comfortable position. He looked up at Satsuki's face, and a quick blush spread across his face. Satsuki had a ponytail that went to her mid-back, that was set over her shoulders. Her bangs were swept to the side where she could see. She had on a plain white shirt with a dark blue jacket on, with the zipper unzipped, but the Uchiha clan crest on the back. She had on a black skirt with the black spandex shorts, so no one could get a peek. Why have you been blushing around me so lately? She asked. Naruto froze and instantly tried to find something else to talk about until they heard yelling. Here's my mom. He's my son, and he's going to live. He's my mom. He's my son, and he's going to live in my house. A familiar voice yelled. Naruto sighed and jumped off of Satsuki's lap, but he secretly thanked God for the distraction. He helped Satsuki up, and they started walking towards the house with the house they called home. If he's your son, why did you abandon him? Abandon him. Mikoto yelled back at her childhood friend. They were arguing about why and how Mikoto adopted Naruto and then took a full custody of him. Naruto and Satsuki walked up to the two. Hey mom. I mean, hi mom. They said in unison. Kushina beamed, thinking Naruto was talking to her. Hi Naruto, she squealed and went to give him a hug before I'm such a schmuck. Expertly dodged her. Hello, Kushina. He said in an emotionless tone. Satsuki and Mikoto were taken aback a bit. Naruto usually is happy and filled with emotion. Now he seemed to be void of all emotion. He turned to Mikoto and smiled. Where's his father? He asked. He said he was going to give me and Satsuki a scroll. Mikoto smiled at her son. She didn't even consider him her adopted son anymore. Neither did Fugaku. She was about to reply when Satsuki spoke. It's Satsuki-chan, and jeez. You think you'd get it after all these years? Mikoto's sweat dropped from hearing her daughter correct her son. Naruto turned red from embarrassment at the correction. I think your father is in the kitchen having tea. You should hurry up inside, Mikoto said. She tried to hurry the two kids in the house. He's not your father. Your father is at home with your family, Kushina yelled at Naruto. Naruto spoke without turning around, releasing ki that made everyone freeze. You're not my family. Minato no Mikaze is not my family. Family is supposed to stick together. You left me. Now, he snarled. Stay away from me. He walked into the house and into his room. Ugh, Naruto, Satsuki yelled as she ran to go comfort Naruto. Mikoto shook her head. I'm disappointed in you, Kushina, she said as she closed the door. Kushina screaming. Kushina screaming the next day. Next up, Menma no Mikaze, Iruka called out. It was graduation day, and you could feel the excitement in the air. They became genin on the of the village. Naruto in particular was excited if he passed. His uncle was going to give him something special if he couldn't. He just couldn't wait. Sorry. Next up, Naruko Namikaze, Iruka called. Menma walked out of the testing room with a leaf headband and a smug smile gracing his lips. Beat that, Nissan. He said comfortably as he was surrounded by his fangirls. Even if it was his first day here, word spread fast about the heroes of the village returning, and the two siblings got fanboys and fangirls alike. It disgusted Naruto. I'm not your Nissan, nor will I ever be. Naruto, sit down. Now, sit down, Menma, not Naruto. You're being annoying. Menma scowled at his biological sibling. Naruto, who just finished her test, walked in and over her head. The conversation gave her brother a growl. Stop being a dick, Naruto, she yelled. Just because Carson and I shouldn't say that. Just because Mom and Dad chose us doesn't mean you have to be mean about it. She yelled, drawing the attention of several people. Naruto closed his eyes and sent a wave of ki, making all of the students sweat and sit down. Naruto, do you want to be my what? Do you want to be on my what? Wait, Naruto, do you want to be on my shit list? Oh, okay. Sorry, I can't read, but guys, just saying, I'm a very bad reader. I did say I kinda improved. This just backfired real quick. Can I just quickly put some different music on? I'm kind of getting bored of the same one over and over again. My demons. I love rock, by the way. Wait, 1 second. Is my demons rock? Let me check. My demons. Starset, yeah. Starset. Oh yes, it's a rock band. Let's go. I love rock, by the way. Like, too many fam. Especially Skillet and Linkin Park. Of course, those are like legends, innit? But you know, there's so many good rock songs out there. Stop being a dick, Naruto, she yelled. Just because mother and father chose us doesn't mean you have to be mean about it. She yelled, drawing the attention of several people. Naruto closed his eyes and sent a wave of ki, making all of the students sweat and sit down. Naruto, do you want to be on my shit list? He whispered aloud. Enough for the class to hear. Many of the children gasped as Naruto stood up. They were a little shook because Naruto was in the line for Rookie of the Year award, and here was a newcomer, the hero of the village, challenging him. Naruto rose an eyebrow. Do you wish to dance? Naruto usually refers dances and fights. Yo, Mother Uchiha right there. Yo, let's go. He started calling fights dances after he awoke. He awoke would release dance. What do you mean? She asked, narrowing her eyes at him. Naruto was about to reply with the lazy Nara spoke up. He means fight. Naruto refers to dancing as fighting. To him, there's no difference. But you guys keep it down. This is just a drag. This is such a drag, Shikamaru said lazily. The ki immediately dropped, and almost everyone let out a sigh of relief. Naruto smiled at Shikamaru. You say that too much. You should have more. You should have a more expanded vocabulary, Naruto said. Shikamaru smiled at his black-haired friend. It'd be too troublesome. Naruto sweat dropped, seeing his friend just as his friend just did as what he suggested. Oh, okay. However, Naruto began about to address Naruto, and Mizuki came out of the room besides Iruka. Naruto, Nami, crap. Sorry, Naruto. Your your name, your next stop, Naruto's. Naruto. You're next to Naruto's. Because they spelt the what? I can't fucking read, fam. Naruto Nami crap. Sorry, Naruto. Your name was right. It was next to Naruto's because they were spelt almost alike. Mizuki said with a chuckle as he scratched the back of his head. He cleared his throat. Naruto Uchiha, please come take your test. Naruto smiled at the teacher before jumping out of his seat. Naruto running into the examination room. Okay, Naruto, do the substitution before these shuriken reach you. Naruto nodded and waited for the shuriken to come. Iruka threw the shuriken, which were dull. So if in case the student did not actually do the substitution jutsu, that would be okay. Naruto substituted himself with the log on the ground that was provided on the other side of the classroom. Good. Now do the transformation jutsu. Naruto nodded as he made a single hand seal and transformed into Itachi Uchiha. Behind the mirror were parents and the Hokage, where the parents and the Hokage reside. Ah, he chose his brother. How sweet. Mikoto Kushina was about to tell about his real family when she was silenced by a hand on her shoulder from Minato, shaking his head as if telling her no. She sighed and crossed her arms. What do you expect? I'm starting to think he likes Satsuki and Itachi more than he likes us, Fugaku said with a slight smile, extremely proud of his son. What do you expect? He spends most of the time hanging out with Itachi and Satsuki. More of Satsuki than Itachi, though. He seems to take an interest in her besides a friend. This time Fugaku laughed. Indeed, she's obviously to it, though. She's oblivious. No, I can't read. I'm oblivious. She's oblivious to it, though. I wonder if she is the same way. He said. Mikoto nodded her head. I'm pretty sure she does. Fugaku raised an eyebrow, asking his question silently. Call it mother's intuition. Examination room. Anyway, examination room. Okay, now perform at least 3 working clones and you pass, Mizuki said. He had taken a liking to Naruto over the years. He wouldn't admit it out loud, but Naruto was his favorite student. Doesn't matter what type of clone, Naruto asked. Mizuki looked at Iruka and then and had a silent discussion with their eyes. They came to a decision. I suppose not. Just make sure the 3 clones, the 3 of them, there are 3 of them, okay? Naruto nodded again. My mother showed me this, but I have a massive reserves of shadow clone jutsu. Shadow clone jutsu. He yelled as 10 Narutos filled the room, and Mizuki and Iruka knew that Naruto was strong, but this was just outrageous. Most Jonin couldn't even do this jutsu because it was chakra taxing, but this kid made it seem like nothing. You pass, Naruto. Iruka stuttered out. Naruto smiled before grabbing his handbag and walking out the room. That boy is going to be he's going to do some great things, Mizuki said with a smile. Iruka could only nod in agreement. I passed, Naruto yelled when he entered back into the classroom. Satsuki titled her head. Tilted. Sorry, I'm so bad at reading. Tilted her head and smiled at him, making him grow red. Good job, Naruto, she said in an excited voice. She had already passed since she was the first one to go. Naruto sat down next to her. The test was easy, Naruto said. They should really bump up what we learn in here. Satsuki nodded her head in agreement. True, 3/4 of the crap that we learned was history, and you know how I feel about that. Iruka and Mizuki walked into the room. Congratulations, everyone. You passed. Congratulations, everyone that passed. Now you are getting. There are certain responsibilities. Naruto droned out Iruka's lecture and just stared at Satsuki. She's beautiful. He thought, and he realized his thoughts in his head turned into a deep shade of red. Bad Naruto, you can't like her like that. What if she doesn't like you like that? Naruto, Iruka yelled as as the seventh time. Stop staring at your girlfriend and pay attention. Naruto's posture instantly straightened and his face a really deep shade of red, while Satsuki had a slight redness on her cheeks as well. Not my girlfriend, but I'll pay attention, Naruto-sensei. The class laughed at Naruto. He put his head down and handed Satsuki a kunai. Kill me now, Satsuki, please. Satsuki raised the kunai and slammed it on down next to his head. You're an idiot, you know that, right? She asked Naruto. She asked Naruto. Nodded his head ever so slightly. She smiled and patted him on the back. Listen up, Iruka-sensei is calling out teams. Team 7, Naruto Uchiha, Satsuki Uchiha, and Sai. No last name. Your Jonin-sensei will be... this... Wait, what? Your Jonin-sensei will be... This is unusual. You have 2 Jonin-senseis. Kakashi Hatake and Itachi Uchiha. What are you saying? Hey, yo! Suck all your moms. This is sick. Absolute Mazzolini. Naruto sprang up and yelled, yes! We have Itachi and Kakashi as our senseis. This is going to be awesome. Satsuki was smiling as well. Naruto-kun, calm down. You're going to get in trouble. Satsuki, I don't know how to read that word. Chided like a mother. Shied. What? No. I'm gonna get bullied for this. I don't want to get bullied. I got bullied enough in primary. Chided. You saying, man, smart. Chided like a mother would. Naruto turned out. Naruto tuned out the other. Wait, what? Naruto tuned out the other teams until Satsuki smacked him slightly. Listen. And finally, Team 11 will be Menma Namikaze, Naruto Namikaze, and Sakura Haruno. Your Jonin Sensei will be Kushina Namikaze. Iruka finished. Once again, I am proud of you all. Your Jonin Senseis will be here soon to pick you up. Iruka said, and as he and Mizuki walked out the classroom. 3 hours later, I didn't think Kakashi would be this late, Naruto sighed. You'd think he'd be early for you, but no, Satsuki said with a slight bit of sarcasm. After all, the graduates left with their respective senseis. Naruto tried to talk to the Sai kid, but found out he was really weird. His smiles seemed to be fake and was always looking at and observing at the two. Naruto looked over at Sai, only to see Sai staring at him intensely. Naruto inwardly cringed. He leaned over to Satsuki's ear. Why is that guy so creepy? He's eyeing us like he's an animal, like we're animals at a zoo. Naruto whispered. Satsuki sighed. She knew it too. Naruto was about to say something else, but then the classroom door opened. Team 7, Kakashi said as he appeared over the Genin team. Naruto glared at Kakashi. I thought you'd at least be an hour late, Kakashi-sensei, not 3. He growled at Kakashi. He growled out. Kakashi gave them an awkward eye smile. Sorry, Naruto. I had to help the old woman lift the groceries to her house. Naruto narrowed his eyes. Liar. You stole that from Obito, Naruto yelled, as Kakashi just smiled at the memory of his dead friend. He was unusually late to honor the Uchiha. Wait, what? He was usually late to honor the Uchiha. I'm confused. Well, meet you on the roof, he said before body flickering to the roof. Naruto turned to his two teammates. He turned to Sai. Put a hand on my shoulder. I'll body flicker us there. Satsuki put a hand on Naruto's shoulder and used to see him doing this. Sai gave him a weird smile before he put a hand on Naruto's other shoulder. Naruto made the hand sign and body flickered on top of the roof. Satsuki and Naruto sat relatively close and the other and to one another, while Sai had above 5 feet had a 5 feet distance from Naruto. Kakashi was leaning on the railings. Okay, guys, and gal, I really don't like saying that word. And tell me about yourselves. I'll go first. My name is Kakashi Hatake. I like reading. He was interrupted by Naruto, who coughed the word porn. Wait, shit. I have a few dislikes. My hobbies, reading. My hobbies, reading. He eyed Naruto waiting for the cough, and it happened. My dreams, never really thought about it. Now your turn, Mr. Emotion. My name is Sai. I like to draw and paint. I don't really dislike anything so far. My hobbies are painting and drawing. Okay. My dreams, I don't have one. He said in a fake emotion that everyone could spot. Okay, now you, Mr. Uchiha, Kakashi said, pointing at Satsuki. Satsuki glared at Kakashi but began speaking. My name is Satsuki Uchiha. I like tomatoes in my family. My dislikes are those who abandon someone for no reasons. My hobbies include hanging out with Naruto and training with Naruto. And I have 3 dreams. One is to surpass my brother. Another is to protect the people who are precious to me. And the last one, she took a deep breath and turned slightly red, is to marry a certain someone. Naruto's Sharingan immediately activated as in anger as his ki flooded the area. Sorry, she wants to marry someone. Now, I'll never have a chance. Ugh. He thought. Kakashi's eyes widened when he saw Naruto's Sharingan. He never told me he had a Sharingan. 3 Tomoe no less. This is a big problem. He'd best pass this test or the council will get him. Kakashi thought, genuinely worried about Naruto. Okay, Naruto, your turn. Naruto adopted a brooding position. My name is Naruto Uchiha. I like to train my family, hang out with Satsuki, and I like a girl. I dislike my biological family, and alongside with Jiraiya Tsunade Senju and Jiraiya. I also dislike how long it takes me to learn a new technique from Uncle Orochi. My hobbies include spending time with Satsuki, training and talking to my family. My dream is to become the strongest man and on the planet and to marry the girl I like. This time Satsuki put out some key. He wants to marry someone. Damn, I wanted to marry him. Satsuki thought. Kakashi's sweat dropped. Those two are so clueless, he thought with a small smile beneath his mask. Okay, everyone, meet me at training ground 7, he said. He noted how Naruto and Satsuki grimaced slightly. He heard how 5 Iwa Nin tried to attack them, but nothing else about it. Something's wrong with you guys. Something's wrong with you guys. Naruto looks anywhere besides Kakashi with a guilty look on his face. Satsuki, knowing what was going through his head, she pulls him over and puts her hand on his head. Puts her forehead on his. Sorry, what? It wasn't your fault, Satsuki whispered. You were just protecting me. Kakashi channeled the chakra to his ears to listen in the conversation. I killed those men. I killed them. Naruto choked back a sob. Ever since that day, Naruto was always felt guilty about killing those men. Kakashi's eyes widened when he heard Naruto killed the Iwanin. Naruto defending Satsuki. He was only 7 at the time, though. Could he have tapped into the one-toe chakra? Kakashi thought. He watched as Satsuki kissed Naruto's forehead before pulling him into a tight hug. Young love. Those two jumped off each other. What? Anyway, both blushing furiously. Okay, guys. Training ground 7. See you there. 10 minutes later. Alright, grape time. I like grapes. See? I don't like men or women. My likes grapes. No. What if I married a grape? Allow it. A woman married the tree, so I can marry a grape, right? Say less. Kakashi watched as the three genin walked on the training grounds. Okay, you three. Time to see if you can actually become genin. The Uchiha stared him down with glares before Sai spoke up. What do you mean? Naruto and Satsuki told their nod their head in anger with Sai's question. In agree, sorry. Well, you aren't genin yet. You have to be able to pass this test to be genin. Only 9 academy students actually get to become genin. So you have a failure rate of 66%. Naruto finishes. Kakashi nods in his head. What's the test, Sensei? Satsuki asked. Kakashi took out 2 bells. You have to try to get these bells, and the people who get them actually can pass this test and become genin. While the other one gets sent back to the academy. So I want you to come at me with the intent to kill, Kakashi said in a serious voice, so he wouldn't laugh. Satsuki's serious face. Ready, set. He was cut off as Naruto tried to kick him. He grabbed Naruto's foot and he threw him a couple of feet. Wait till I say go, Naruto. Naruto grinned at his sensei. A true ninja never waits for his opponent to get ready. True. He heard a sizzling sound and looked down to see the ground around 20 paper bombs. Shit. He looked at Naruto to see a small smirk. Boom. Kakashi substituted himself with a nearby log. Naruto, are you trying to kill me? Naruto nodded his head. Fireball jutsu. Satsuki yelled as a fireball came towards Kakashi. Naruto made a couple more hand signs, wind style. Wind bullets. Naruto said as he blew 3 bullets of air that enhanced the fireball. Kakashi's eyes widened as he narrowly dodged the fireball and to get hit with a lion made of ink, a courtesy of Sai. He watched as all of the genin started making hand signs before he held up his hands. By the way, the only reason I was able to read courtesy is because I was actually listening to courtesy called throughout the whole of chapter 1. Anyway, and a bit of chapter 2. You pass, he yelled. He then quickly grabbed Naruto and knocked him out. What the hell, Kakashi-sensei? Satsuki yelled. You just said we passed, Kakashi smiled. It's going to be a little prank. I'm going to tie him up once on the post over there and pick him up after 3-4 hours. Kakashi said with a smile. Naruto's like my brother, like my little brother. I'd never let him get hurt intentionally. Satsuki slowly nodded, but still didn't like the idea. Kakashi quickly tied Naruto to the stump with a chakra-infused rope that wouldn't let Naruto use chakra or break out of it with his strength. Come on, guys, you can go home. Kakashi said. Satsuki only nodded her head. I have a bad feeling about this, she mumbled, until she walked away before leaving a note on Naruto's chest, so he would know it was just a prank. 1 hour later, Naruto woke up tied up. He desperately tried to get out of it. He couldn't. He couldn't reach his kunais. Then he sighed and felt a slight crinkle on his chest. He looked at the paper and read it. Dear Naruto, sorry, I'm not allowed to let you out of the rope. Kakashi sent his orders. He said that you two were like brothers, so I let him do it. It's just a prank. He'll pick you up after a few hours. Mom is going to have a fit. Sincerely, Satsuki. Naruto smiled at the letter before he heard some voices. Yeah, I heard this was the demon's new training grounds. Let's rig it. A group of villagers said. They walked onto the training grounds and spotted Naruto. The demon was right. There's the demon right now. Let's get him. Naruto tried to activate his chakra but couldn't. Meanwhile, 30 minutes later, Team 7. Meanwhile, 30 minutes later, Team 7, Kakashi said in a bored face. A lot of Jonin gasped in shock. Kakashi hasn't passed a team yet in this and this was the first one. Naruto seemed to be brilliant and used perfect teamwork, with Satsuki applying fire jutsus and applying wind jutsu to her fire, and then cornering me with their jutsu. They worked excellently as a team. Wind jutsu? Isn't that way too early to teach Genin? Kurenai Yuhi asked, and a few Jonin nodded. Kakashi shook his head before a voice spoke up. I taught him that, Orochimaru said, with a slight smile. That boy is a bigger prodigy than any of the prodigies this village has seen. A few murmurs were heard. I was going to give him a gift. I couldn't find him at any of his usual spots. Do you know where he is, Kakashi? Kakashi laughed a little. I decided to prank Naruto by trying to tying him to a post at the training grounds. As I thought I was going to pick him up after this meeting, Orochimaru alongside the Hiruzen went wide-eyed. You fool! Orochimaru and Hiruzen said at the same time. Minato rose an eyebrow. What's the problem? He asked Hiruzen. Hiruzen looked at Minato. Naruto is hated by the villagers. If someone sees him tied up and helpless, they're going to hurt him. Hiruzen yelled, "Anbu with me." Several members of Anbu jumped into and stood beside the third. Follow me. Follow me. He barked at everyone in the room. He then proceeded to run towards the training ground, which Naruto was currently tied up. Oh God, Naruto, be okay, thought Kakashi. Orochimaru and Hiruzen at the training ground 5 minutes later, 5 minutes before they left the meeting. Wait, at the training ground 5 minutes before they left the meeting. Let me get my voice in it. Ah! Naruto screamed. He was being mercilessly stabbed in the stomach by the villagers who wore an evil grin. Naruto had 4 kunais in each limb, several in his stomach, and the villagers each took turns in twisting and moving a kunai deeper in his body. Naruto had tears running down his face. The pain was unbearable. Please stop, he shouted. The villagers just continued. We're going to kill all the demon lovers after this, one said, and maybe have fun with the women. Naruto just kept crying out in pain. Take my power. A deep voice rang in Naruto's mind. Take my power. It yelled louder. Red chakra swirled around Naruto. He broke out the rope and limped for the villagers. Everyone watched in horror as they saw Naruto. He was soaked in blood after being surrounded by the villagers. Minato and Orochimaru were about to jump before they heard a wait from Hiruzen. He glared at the old man before he pointed at Naruto. He just broke the ropes. I'm going to fucking kill you all, Naruto screamed as wood came out of the ground, impaled a couple of the villagers. You dare torture me? His slightly demonic voice yelled. His Sharingan was active, which scared a lot of them and amazed a lot of the Jonin. Naruto ran and sliced one of the villagers' throats out with his claws, and Naruto made some hand signs. Die, fire style, infernal flames. He yelled as the remaining villagers were engulfed in flames. Naruto's wounds were healing rapidly as he took out the kunai in his limbs. All of the Jonin and Anbu jumped down and revealed themselves. Naruto saw Hiruzen and started running while tears ran down his face. GG, he said, turning back to normal. He jumped forward and landed in Hiruzen's arms. He was crying heavily. It hurt so bad, he said in between sobs. Orochimaru glared at Minato. This is your fault. If you had actually taken Naruto, this wouldn't have happened, he yelled. Hiruzen walked towards the Uchiha clan compound as Minato and Orochimaru got into a heated argument, and with Naruto still crying in his robes. As Shh, you're almost home, he said. Naruto may be a Geni, but he's still a human. Even humans took too much. 5 minutes later, Hiruzen knocked on the door of the Uchiha head compound. Itachi answered the door. Hello? He immediately saw Naruto in Hiruzen's arms before he quickly grabbed him out of the arms and ran into the house. Hiruzen walked into the house and headed towards Satsuki. Heard Satsuki crying along with Mikoto. Naruto had passed out on the way to the compound. Hiruzen explained what happened, and it was a complete incident. Itachi stood up. I'll kill that Hatake, he yelled before being grabbed by Hiruzen. No, Itachi. Would Naruto want that? Itachi looked at the ground in shame. Naruto's head was currently lying on Satsuki's lap as she stroked his hair and cried for him. Mikoto was holding Naruto's hand and stroking it as she cried too. Fugaku just looked at his passed out son. He didn't trust himself to speak as he was afraid his voice would choke up. After about another hour, Naruto slowly opened his eyes to see Satsuki stroking his hair, his nasty bloody hair. Don't you think that's gross, Satsuki? He asked. Satsuki gasped before she pulled him into a hug. This time, she sobbed hard into his shirt. She was so close to losing him. Don't you ever do that again, she cried out. Naruto hugged her tightly. Wasn't much of a choice, but okay, he croaked out. After a while, after a while of talking and assuring his family that he was okay because the fox healed him, he took a shower, went to bed, changing in his boxes. Alright. About an hour or two later, Naruto sat up and yelled slightly. He had a horrible dream of his family and friends being killed by the villagers. He slowly laid back down and tossed around, but he couldn't go back to sleep until he heard a soft knock at the door. He got up and opened the door to reveal Satsuki standing in a nothing but large shirt. Naruto, are you okay? She asked. Naruto sighed before shaking his head and telling her about the dream. Nightmare, basically. And now I can't sleep, he muttered. Satsuki smiled at him, grabbing his hand and leading him to bed. She laid him down before lying down next to him and snuggling up in his arms. Better? She asked, and as she slowly began falling asleep. Naruto wrapped his arms around the girl and closed his eyes. Better. And another chapter done. Let's go. The first chapters are kind of lengthy, but I made a pact saying that I would never do a chapter less than 1,000 words. So, oh fuck. Hope you guys enjoyed. I love your comments, and they make my day really bye. For real, fam. Like content creators, like every content creator out there, I'm telling you, you may not notice it, but their day is so fucking long. Editing, making videos for their subscribers and shit. Okay, that's fun and all, and making the subscribers happy. But what makes them truly happy is not the money, is how their feedback. The more feedback they get, the more good comments they get, the nice comments they get make their day. Like every time I read the comments and I see a nice one, it brightens my day up. And next thing you know, I see another one saying, "Oh bro, you repeat the same story over and over again." I'm sorry bro, my brain doesn't work like that, bro. I can't make a whole Naruto again. Like, chill. But there are some comments, like most of the comments, and back then too, like so many nice comments. Oh bro, I used to love you guys. Well, I still do love you guys. It's amazing how much support you give me. But I'm telling you, if you support the content creator you like, the content creator will make way better content. Take it from me, because after I started receiving better comments and like better support in it, I swear it was so much better. It's so much more fun making videos then. Anyways, we continue. Yeah? Another long one. Let's go. Okay, I'll do 3 parts. I think. How long have I been recording for? Depends on how long I've been recording for. I've been recording 40 minutes. Alright, I'll record for another 40 minutes, innit? Oh, they look so cute. All snuggled up together. Mikoto cooed as she, Fugaku, and Itachi stared at Satsuki and Naruto in each other's arms. Itachi had a small smile gracing his lips. Hot or cold? Fugaku smiled slightly. Get the cold water. It'll be better. It'll be way better. Itachi nodded and ran out to get a bucket filled with cold water and walked into Naruto's room. Time to wake up, kids. Mikoto whispered before kissing them both and on top of their heads. She turned to Itachi and nodded her head. Itachi quickly drenched the two genin with cold water. Naruto's reaction was the best. He jumped out. Oh shit. Alright, come on, it was just my sister coming back from Stratford. Let me knock the door now because I don't want them walking in. Anyway, Naruto's reaction was the best. He jumped up so high, right to the when the water hit him, that his head actually hit the ceiling of the room before falling onto his. But Satsuki just tried to get back under the blanket, but her mother yanked her off. Why would you do that? Why would you guys do that? Naruto yelled as he rubbed the top of his head. Are you crazy? Mikoto just laughed. Maybe. Naruto was shivering on the ground, soaked head to toe. Get out, I need to change, he growled out. Itachi just smiled and poked Naruto's wet forehead and walks out of the room. With the rest of the Uchihas, Naruto quickly dressed and with all black attire and walked to find his family eating breakfast. Don't you have to meet your sensei at 8? Fugaku asked. Naruto smiled slightly before shaking his head. Kakashi usually comes 3 hours late, so we're going to the ground at 10:50. Naruto explained. Satsuki nodded in agreement before she went back to eat her eggs. I don't know any Japanese food except for dango and ramen. So I'm just American for now. Sorry for the inconvenience. It's fine, bro. Naruto, your pancakes are on the counter. Satsuki said still before she took another bite. Thanks, Naruto said before grabbing his pancakes and sitting on next to Itachi. Hey Itachi, why didn't you come to pick us up yesterday? Aren't you our sensei too? Naruto said. Itachi nodded and swallowed the food in his mouth. Yep, but I was sent out on a quick mission by the Hokage. Naruto nodded and finished his pancakes with speed. I'm going to train by mom, by mother, by father. Naruto called out before running towards the training grounds. 40 minutes later, wind style, blade of wind. Naruto shouted before expertly slicing the air with his hands towards the training dummy, successfully cutting it in 3 pieces. Naruto smirked at his success. Nice job, Naruto. That jutsu is going to hurt anybody that gets hit gets in its way. Naruto turned around and saw his uncle. Hi, Uncle Orochi. Not that I don't like you being here, but why are you here? I thought training with you was next week. Naruto questioned. Orochimaru smiled at Naruto. Well, remember how I was going to give you a gift since you graduated, right? Naruto asked. Orochimaru asked. Naruto frowned as he remembered what happened to the previous night. Orochimaru smiled sadly. Well, I changed my mind. Naruto gave him a questioning look before Orochimaru held up 2 fingers. I'm going to give you 2 gifts. Orochimaru took out a small scroll and opened it to reveal a sword. The sword hilt was black with white patches on it that was in a shape of a diamond. And Naruto, the blade itself was a really dark gray. The first gift was a sword. The sword is made out of chakra metal, so you can infuse chakra into it, and you can enhance some of your jutsu, like wind jutsu from earlier. Naruto handed Naruto the sword. Naruto sheathed it and and put it on his back. Thank you, uncle. But I don't really know how to use a sword. No, Orochimaru laughed. I'll be teaching you along with an Anbu. He doesn't hate you next week until you can master some styles and create your own. You did create your own like you did with taijutsu. Naruto hugged his uncle before Orochimaru pulled out a big scroll with that was sealed into his wrist. Now this is the snake summoning scroll. I'll let Uncle-chan sign it, and now I want you to sign it. You can become a summoner. You can be a summoner of snakes. Do you really mean it, Uncle? Naruto said with tears in his eyes. Orochimaru nodded as Naruto tackled him to the ground in a hug. Naruto knew the summoning was a really rare, and for his uncle to offer him a summon was one of the best days of his life. Orochimaru opened the scroll and explained how to be a summoner. Naruto signed the contract. Okay, now do you know the hand signs? Orochimaru asked. Naruto nodded eagerly. Then go ahead, give it a try. Don't be discouraged if you can't. He watched Naruto as he went through the hand signs and slammed his hand on the ground. Orochimaru's eyes widened when Naruto summoned the boss snake, Manda. I don't see a battle anywhere, Orochimaru. Why did you summon me? Manda asked I said Manda before. Manda asked when he saw Orochimaru. I summoned you, not him. Naruto said from on top of Manda's head. Manda tried to throw Naruto off his head, but had no success. Get off my head so I may see you, boy. Manda commanded. Naruto jumped off of his head and landed on his peripheral vision. Landed in his peripheral vision. Orochimaru, you let a boy sign this? Yes, Manda. He did not refer Manda and the Sama. Wait, he did not refer Manda as Sama because they knew they knew and fought alongside each other for a long time. He seemed ready to be able to summon, and since no other summons were available at this time, I decided to give him the snake summoning scroll. Manda thought about this before coming to a conclusion. He may summon me if he gives me a human sacrifice. Naruto looked at Manda in horror. Is there any other way? Orochimaru asked, knowing that the test behind Manda's sword, the test behind behind Manda's words. I read sword for some reason. Manda nodded his head before peering down at Naruto. Naruto looked at Manda in the eyes. I refuse. I will not kill someone and not offer them to you, just so I can help. Just so I can get help in a battle. Naruto said sternly, even if it costs me the snake contract. Manda chuckled. I like this, boy. You may call upon the snakes if you need it, boy. Farewell, Manda said before dispelling himself. Naruto smiled brightly at his uncle before he heard a mock clap from behind. Naruto turned around to see and scowled. It was Jiraiya. Bravo, a new snake summoner. How nice. Jiraiya said sarcastically. What do you want? Naruto sneered. Jiraiya just smirked. I just wanted to see what my student's son was up to. Is that a crime? Jiraiya said with his mock smile. Oh, why are you making Jiraiya bad, man? Naruto glared at the man. Yes, it is a crime. You're on Uchiha property. I'm certain you were not invited. Trespassing, Naruto's trespassing, Naruto said. Jiraiya scowled. I should. Jiraiya began before he was met with a sword to his neck. You shouldn't what, Jiraiya? Hurt him? Jealous because of my pupil is better than both of yours combined, Orochimaru said from behind. Oh please, Orochimaru. Oh wait, oh please, Orochi. Naruto and Menma are way stronger than this brat is. Jiraiya boasted. Orochimaru took the sword away from Jiraiya's throat and walked next to Naruto. If that's true, why did neither of the toads nor the slug not choose them for summoners? They weren't worthy? And I said it like a question, that's why I repeated. They weren't worthy. And snakes are hard to prove your worth to. And Naruto did it in less than a minute. Jiraiya glared at Orochimaru before he smirked. Fine, we'll have a spar between the three. Naruto and Menma versus Naruto. I have to remember that Naruto is not Naruto. Anyway, Orochimaru was about to protest about it being unfair until Naruto spoke up. Deal. Let's set up some stakes, shall we? If I win, if I win. He pondered for a second before smiling. I get the tails of the chakra from the Kyuubi from them. Jiraiya widened. Jiraiya's eyes widened. I'll correct him, it's fine. Absolutely not, he yelled. Orochimaru smirked. Why not? Aren't you confident that those two can beat Naruto? Orochimaru said. Jiraiya smirked. Fine, I agree to it. I agree to your bet. But if you lose, he thought, you have to forgive your family. Give up your eyes and move in with them. Naruto replied without hesitation. Deal, he said. But before we do this, I need to ask the kids and Minato if they want to, okay? Jiraiya said with a hint of kindness. Naruto nodded before walking off. Come on, Uncle Orochi. We have to train to do it. We have training to do. 1 week later, Naruto was on the training ground with almost the whole Uchiha compound behind him, along with Hiruzen and Orochimaru. Naruto, you don't have to do this, Satsuki, he said in a worried tone. Naruto shook his head. Let's go. This is gonna be a sick fight. Let's go. Oh shit. Yes, I do. If I don't, he glanced at her. I may regret this for the rest of my life. This is to show them I did fine without them. She gave him a hug. Don't lose. She kissed the top of his forehead, making her blush, and lots of oars from the crowd. I won't, he assured her. He had been training with Orochimaru and Itachi a lot, with a lot of shadow clones. His Kenjutsu has also started, but all he could do with the blade was defend and send a couple of winjutsus. Minato, Kushina, Jiraiya, Menma, Naruto, and Tsunade walked onto the training grounds. Menma and Naruto had smirks alongside with Tsunade and Jiraiya. They had trained all week with the tails of chakra. They had nothing else. They had nothing else. Rah! Naruto knew this, which disappointed him greatly, because he knew why Shinobi shouldn't rely on one weapon. He knew that Shinobi shouldn't rely on just one weapon. Naruto walked up to the middle of the training ground. Menma and Naruto walked up to the middle to meet him. Ready to forfeit those eyes and come back home, brother? Naruto asked with a smirk. Naruto shook his head. Shook his head, his face showing no emotion. I will not lose here today. You will, and I will take those tails of chakra from you, he said stoically, like Itachi usually did when he sparred with him. Yes. Why do you want the tails? What is your plan? Naruto then smirked. None of your concern. Now may we dance? Ooh, this is like Madara. Just saying. I deep throat Madara, fam. He's OP. He's like one of the most overpowered characters. Like, there is absolutely nothing you can do. This man walked up to Naruto and Sasuke after they didn't get put in the Infinite Tsukuyomi. Tsukuyomi is like, ah, shit. Guess it's time to try. And imagine, before he did that, he just killed off Zetsu, thinking, nah, bro, this guy, he's weak, and he could betray me one day, getting bored of him. So you never know, innit? So might as well just fuck off, and basically killing him, and then going up against Naruto and Sasuke. Clearly, Naruto and Sasuke literally stood no chance, especially against Kaguya and Madara with 2 Rinneguns. Clearly, like, let's be honest. Like, you can even go watch videos about this. Let's be honest. Naruto had half of the Sage of 6 powers, and Sasuke had the other half, which was the visual, the ocular powers. Now, let's do some maths. Naruto can fly, and he has 6 Sage mode, but he doesn't have the eyes, which Sasuke has the eyes, but Sasuke can't fly and doesn't have 6 Sage mode. But then we see Madara with both G's, both the eyes, ocular powers, more experience first of all. Then the 6 Sage mode, flying, man's the 10 tails Jinchuriki, man can regenerate the truth-seeking orbs. If not, Naruto's truth-seeking orbs can stack up to fucking Susanoo, Sasuke, Rinne Sharingan, yeah? But let's just say this. Let's just make one point clear. I'm not trying to shit on Sasuke and Naruto, because I love Naruto. Like, I wish Naruto was stronger than him, because he is stronger than him in Boruto. Like, even 19-year-old Naruto can slap Madara at that point. Like, let's be honest. He was OP. But we're talking about just 2 minutes after 6 Sage Mode was given to him. So he had no training, but he could already fly in it. And he had the Limbo clones in it. If Madara could just take out the rods midway the fight, something like that, he could have just had 4 extra Limbo clones fighting alongside of him. And he hasn't even used his fucking Susanoo. There was... nothing was said that he couldn't use his Susanoo or his Mangekyo abilities. Because, okay, they said that Obito couldn't use it because of the Tento's literally bearing down on him. But then we see Madara just stealing an eye and using someone else's Mangekyo power when Kakashi took... what, decades to master. He found out decades after, and he took another 3 years to master it. And Madara just takes it out, implants it into his socket. Is like, ah, yeah, so basically he's there. Like, what's going on here? Like, you can't chat to me and say Madara is weaker than Warrock, Naruto, and Sasuke. That's some bullshit. I'm not saying like 19-year-old Naruto and Sasuke can't beat him, because individually I'm pretty sure they can slap the fuck out of him, in my opinion. But still, anyway. Alright. None of your concern. Now, may we dance? He looked over at the proctor of the match, which was Minato. Rules: no killing or maiming. Don't know what that means. I have to search up. Okay, so no permanent injuries. Okay, so you can't injure the other person so badly that they cannot move. Like, you don't kill them, but like, you fuck up their ninja career. Okay, all right. No killing or maiming, Minato declared as he got a nod from the 3. Ready, go. He shouted. Naruto immediately activated the Sharingan, which earned gasps by the bystanders. No one knew Naruto's Sharingan except for a secret few, because they wanted to keep it a secret until he became Genin. Naruto and first I say Naruto and Menma, then Naruto and Benma. Naruto and Menma both got out, all 4 of the all 4s, and started generating the tails of chakra. And as their looks became more feral, I'm not sure how to say that. You're coming with us, Menma and Naruto shouted as they charged up a Rasengan before dashing towards Naruto. Naruto stood there with his arms crossed, not even looking, a bit phased. As they got closer, Naruto smirked and he blew before he blew up. Naruto's shadow clone clone. Now a shadow clone that blows up. Nice. Itachi must have taught you that. Orochimaru thought. On on the other side of the field stood Naruto. So that's the Rasengan, huh? So it's just a ball of swirling chakra. He said aloud before making a tiny Rasengan like this. Minato and Jiraiya were dumbfounded. It took them nearly 5 months. It took nearly 5 months for Naruto and Menma to learn that. Naruto learns it just from an observation. And yo, Naruto took a week. You guys are shy, fam. Week, 2 weeks, allow it. Same thing. At least he's not 5 months. Louder thing. That's how many times there? 10 times more? Suck your mums. Suck your mum. Cushion in it. Naruto and Menma were then recovered from the explosion and charged at Naruto before they made hand signs. Before Naruto had made some hand signs. Made some hand signs, not had. Anyway, wood style. Wood release. Double wood dragon technique. He yelled, earning several gasps. Tsunade had her mouth hanging from her jaw. She didn't actually believe her sensei when he said Naruto had the Mokuton, which is a wood release. But now she was seeing it firsthand. 2 dragons made out of wood crashed out on the ground and snaked their ways towards the 2 Jinchuriki and wrapped them in wood, successfully suppressing their tailed beast chakra. The 4 tails started fading. The 4 tails started fading from the siblings' body, and Naruto walked to them in a mockingly slowly way. Do you see why I was so confident? I have 2 things that can subdue tailed beasts, including a Jinchuriki. You're nothing special, and you're nothing without the beast's chakra. He made a shadow clone and tossed a kunai at the 2 and walked up the restricted to the restricted 2 and held their kunai held his kunais to their throats. Anyway, you lose, he whispered. Minato couldn't believe it. His son and daughter were beaten with the when they were in their full-tilt mode. Was all that training for 13 years not worth it? He sighed. Winner, Naruto Uchiha. Yes, he said in a depressed tone. Naruto, the Uchiha clan cheered wildly. Naruto turned to Minato and Jiraiya. It is unwise to rely on one weapon, is it not? I expect those tails to be sealed into me by the end of tomorrow. Minato nodded sadly before Naruto undid the wood dragon. Menma snarled before lunging at Naruto. Naruto expertly, you see now I learned, dodged before grabbing Menma by the back of his head, slamming it onto the ground. This is the pecking order now. I don't know what the pecking order means. Oh wait, Solo Leveling came out. I have to read that. Peck. Okay, whatever. I know what peck is, but I don't know what pecking order stands for. Whatever. This is the pecking order now. Naruto growled, sending tons of ki in the air. The dirt, the worms, and the dirt, the worms in the dirt. You, your family, the village, okay? I am your superior. He yelled into Menma's ear. Now, Naruto, that's enough, Minato shouted. Naruto released Menma and glared at Minato before storming off the training field, leaving everyone shocked. Naruto never had an outburst like that in public. Satsuki looked at her mother, asking silent questions before Mikoto nodded. Satsuki ran towards the forest that Naruto had stormed off into 5 minutes later. Naruto growled as he punched the tree again. The poor tree had dents in it. Naruto was starting to not care. He was frustrated. The nerve of Menma. The nerve of that family, he thought. He punched the tree again until he heard a bush rustle behind him. He drew his sword and turned around slowly to see Satsuki standing there. His eyes softened, and at the sight of her, Naruto, "What's wrong?" She asked, concerned, lacing her voice. Naruto sighed and forced himself to calm down for her sake. "I'm just frustrated at them. They tried to take everything away from you guys, my real family." Satsuki smiled softly before walking up to Naruto and kissing him in the cheek before hugging him. "Thank you for not losing. I don't know where I'd be without you," she whispered. Naruto tightened his grip on her. Same here, Satsuki. Same here." The next day, Naruto was exhausted. The ceiling of 8 holes inside of him was just physically and mentally taxing. He'd be not lucky if he'd been able to walk. He'd be lucky if he'd be able to walk. Well, the tails are now sealed into him. Minato stated proud of his work. Menma and Naruto tried to fight them to keep their tails, but Minato ordered them, saying they promised they did so, but not after complaining a few hundred times. They were they were unconscious at the moment. The extraction of their tails put them into a comatose state. It's a bad word, or bad phrase. Or well, since you use a phrase, you can just use one word to make it short. Anyway, a coma-like state, but they would wake up in an hour or two. Naruto stood up and with the help of Orochimaru. "Thanks, Hokage. You may have a oh shit. Sorry. Thanks, Hokage. You may have Thanks, Hokage. You may have I can't read. Thanks, Hokage. You may have abandoned me, but so far you're my favorite out of your family." Minato fought the urge to jump up and down in joy. Naruto smiled weakly. "Well, Naruto, if you ever need help controlling the QB, you know where to find me," Minato said before grabbing Menma and Naruto and flying rising away, I would say, but body flickering away. Orochimaru rose an eyebrow. "Forgiving?" Naruto shook his head. "Not even close. I'm just saying that he's done the least of bad things out of them. That's it," Naruto said before he fell unconscious. Orochimaru smiled and picked Naruto up, walked out of the secluded area towards the Uchiha compound. Let's go. Anyway, that's where I'm gonna end off. Hope you all enjoyed it. My ducklings, you're dismissed, and peace.